Don't you get it, you crustaceous cheapskate? I can't make a double Krabby Patty with the work. I can't put a patty on a bun with lettuce, cheese, onions, tomatoes, ketchup, mustard, pickles, and top bun together in that order.
Hello?
No!
Sorry, sir, we're closed.
Ahoy there, Krusty Krab! How can I help you? Pizza? Of course we have pizza.
Mr.
Our
Krabs.
delivery squid will bring it right over.
Mr. Krabs, we don't serve pizza. We don't deliver.
We don't deliver, but you do.
Now that's what I call fast food.
that's another thing. I'm not a boy. I'm so old I got hairs growing out of the wrinkles on my liver spots. One pipsqueak patty. And your bib and high chair.
Mr. Krabs! This wiener tastes just like a Krabby Patty. Maybe we can add them to the menu.
I'm not impressed.
I made it with leftover ingredients.
Now I'm impressed.
Look at that guy just like a hot dog, Mommy.
Let that inspire you to stay in school, Billy.
Help! I'm having terrible abdominal pain. I think it was the line.
Wiener.
The wiener!
I bet you can't eat a Krabby Double Deluxe in one bite. Oh.
Give me that. They don't call me Cheeks for nothing.
Thank you.
Well, that's just one thing.
It's done. You're gonna suck the whole cup down your gullet if you're not careful.
Sorry, Mr. Krabs. It's just that this kelp shake tastes so good.
Kelp shake?
Look around ya. Everyone's enjoying a delicious kelp shake. Don't bother sitting down, because you'll just stand up when you see this. Ta-da!
Great Barrier Reef! That patty's spoiled!
Ah! Mr. Krabs, it's not tainted meat. It's painted meat. Pretty patties, available in 6 designer colors.
Your dumb pretty patties turned my face purple!
Look what I got under me, Q!
And look at our tongues!
patties.
Step right up and get your new improved patties.
One hour later.
Here you go, sir. A king-size Ultra Krabby Supreme with the works. Double batter fried. On a stick.
Thanks.
Barnacle head.
Pardon me?
You forgot your mayonnaise.
Thanks.
Look at them eating that garbage. It's disgusting.
Oh, yum.
What the heck is that?
It's just a little old Krabby Patty smothered in jellyfish jelly. I call it a Krabby Patty with jellyfish jelly.
Could I try some?
Sure.
Amazing.
I'm going to need you to bring me one of everything on the menu.
Excellent choice, my darling. Coming right up. He wants one of everything.
Then we'll give him a smorgasbord. The future of the Krusty Krab is at stake.
Kurai the crunchy kelp dog, sir. and bless the taste buds of your lucky connoisseur.
Like poison!
Okay, you sit this one out, Squidward. This will be a special delivery from the chef for your dining pleasure. 2 double Krabby Patties cooked to perfection, complemented by a side of coral bits and a jumbo diet soda, topped off with a little extra love. Enjoy. should I say? Order down!
Thank you. Got any mustard?
I might. SpongeBob would not let me consume a single calorie. I tried to take a sip of soda to slake my thirst.
Not busy enough!
12 Krabby Patties on wheat buns.
Bun patty, catch me, 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 bun. 1 dozen crying cows on the farm. Up!
Thanks, Farmer Brown. It's been a thrill serving you.
of ice cream, please. I hate to do this to you, Triple Krabby Patty with 5 scoops of ice cream, but I have no choice.
No, stop. I don't like that.
One milkshake coming right up.
You've redeemed yourself, SpongeBob. This is the best milkshake I've ever had.
Smoking barbecue nuts.
I say nothing. There is no outside food allowed at the Krusty Krab.
Come on, SpongeBob. I won't spill the nuts if you won't.
one patty the right way.
It's a thing of beauty.
What's so great about a gym patty, anyway? It's okay. Wow! That was amazing! Good evening, sir. From our menu tonight, might I recommend the Krabby Newburg. We take the finest cuts of aged imported kelp, stuff them with herbs from our garden, wrap them in parchment with our award-winning shallot tapenade, slow roast them for 6 hours in our wood-fired clay-filled oven, or kiva, and serve them with a garnish of wilted coral on a mahogany plank.
This is fantastic.
From now on, I want you to fry up 2 patties for every Krabby Patty we sell. One for the patty itself, and the second just for the grease. Then slather the grease from the second patty onto the first one, and voila! It's a deluxe-y Krabby Patty with extra flavors.
I accidentally dropped some buns into our vat of extra grease. Well, they've been soaking in there for about an hour.
These are delicious!
You're right. I can't imagine what makes them taste so good.
Okay, no buns. That's hip, no patties. Happening. Oh yeah, that's definitely the coolest meal I ever saw.
This is so cool.
Two salads. That was awful. I hope I never have to tear apart a perfectly good Krabby Patty ever again.